This MLB Thursday playoff picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up using the code MLB SGPN. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, October the 15th. We are here to cast an eye over the two playoff games scheduled for Thursday, October 16. Joining me from somewhere in New York is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how are you?
I'm doing well, Malcolm. How are you doing?
I am okay. I haven't done a baseball show for ages. I ended up with the back end of last week off the schedule and the front end of this week off the schedule, which means I missed 5 or 6 days. I've been very much on international football duty, Dylan, over the weekend. I've watched games. I've covered games from all over the place, including I did the Gambia v Gabon on Friday afternoon. Much to tell me about the Gambia and Gabon, Dylan?
I was just going to ask, what country is that?
They're in Africa, Central Africa. Gabon, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who you might know, used to play for Arsenal. He scored 4 times for Gabon and then got sent off in the same game. So he had a very busy afternoon. But I did watch the USA. I covered the USA game on Friday night. And I've got bad news. They drew 1-1 with Ecuador. I got bad news for you, Dylan. They're not very good.
No.
They're not good enough. So I know the excitement, is probably not building, but you've got the World Cup next year being co-hosted by the US, but I don't think your team are quite good enough to cause much more than a ripple or two, Dylan. Maybe home advantage.
Did Canada and Colombia, how was that game yesterday?
No idea is the short answer. I saw a little bit of Canada v Australia on Friday night. I think Australia beat Canada. But yeah, I didn't see that Colombia game. Yeah, and then I covered Spain and France and some other people. So I've been on international duty this week. But baseball-wise, D-Rock, I mean, we've got 2 series currently standing at 2-0.
Yeah.
With the team who are leading returning home. Oh, no, they're not, sorry. The Dodgers are returning home 2-0 up. Oh, yeah, sorry. Both teams are returning home with a 2-0 lead. So really prohibitive odds now in terms of the series. Seattle around about minus 800. The Dodgers are minus 1,400 kind of thing. The Dodgers are as short as minus 180 or even shorter for the World Series. So what's your reading of where we stand as we speak, D-Rock?
Yeah, I think both series have been good. Honestly, I really don't know what's been going on with Toronto. Maybe the little break hurt their offense because it just kind of went MIA after that Yankees series. So it's been unfortunate. The pitching really hasn't been there for Toronto as well. So it's been tough. But, Brewers, I thought were in game 1. I thought it was a really good game for game 1. Game 2 kind of got out of hand. Jackson Chourio led the game off with a home run, and you thought, wow, all right, maybe they're going to tie it, go back to LA 1-1. Both teams 2-0. Honestly, I feel more confident in the Brewers tying it or making it a competitive series as opposed to the Blue Jays right now. And I think that's kind of strange, if I'm being honest, just because I believe in the Brewers, and I think they're actually a really good overall team as opposed to Toronto, where we've seen some flaws throughout the season with this team, and I think it's coming to light now here in the playoffs.
Yeah, we did think, even getting into the start of September, I was kind of expecting Toronto to maybe regress just a little bit, but they didn't. They held their nerve really well down the stretch. What surprised me most was that game 1 where it looked, everybody just assumed Toronto. It was a great spot for Toronto. Seattle were coming off that marathon 15-inning game. Massive emotional spot for them. Toronto were well rested. They were tough. All the boxes ticked Toronto. And then they barely got a hit. And that surprised me. And then Seattle have turned the screw a little bit since then. The Dodgers just... the last thing anyone needed with the Dodgers pitchers to start going 9 innings, the starting pitchers, because we know the lineup is impossible virtually to keep quiet. We said it a couple of weeks ago. You need to pitch 9 clean innings, which is very tricky when you've got even the people down the bottom, whether it's Andy Paez or Kike Hernandez, we keep mentioning Will Smith. It's just relentless. And you needed to start picking apart the Dodgers pitching and getting into this bullpen. And the Dodgers have suddenly just gone old school. Blake Snell threw 8 innings, and then Yamamoto throws a complete game. In fact, to give Dave Rogers a nod as well, I actually think he learned a little bit from taking Blake Snell out that first time, because he didn't need to. Blake Snell was utterly in control. They took him out. They showed Roki Sasaki to the Brewers. Didn't quite work, and that game got closer than it needed to be. Game 2, he didn't make the same mistake again. He sort of looked at Yamamoto and said, "You okay?" Yamamoto said, "Yep," and just got through. Yeah. And 30 seconds later, he's got 3 more outs. It was just no problem at all. So that's the... that was just... You didn't need it. You don't need the Dodgers to be able to do that. And then they throw the next 2 pitches up to Glasnow and Ohtani. Cheers, boys. Good luck. A few people in the chat here. Trev, TVDBJ, hello, mate, is determined that the Brewers are going to take the NLCS back to Milwaukee. Fair enough. Bennett here. Welcome, Bennett. Adrian thinks the Brewers are dead. So Bennett thinks the Blue Jays are dead. So we've got quite a lot of killings going on in the comments this evening. The 2 games tomorrow, a bit of an awkward situation. We've got a game with lines, only 1 pitcher. We've got a game with both pitchers but no lines. And then there is a game in between that game and the game we're going to handicap. But, we'll put it together. We always do. The NHL is back. I see you've been throwing out your NHL picks, Dylan. The Hockey Gambling Podcast, Ryan and Joel. They've got the biggest game, storylines, awards, best bits throughout the season. Let It Slide, which I did mention earlier on the Premier League show. Let It Slide, Dylan, was my invention. I came up with that, by the way. Yes, the fuckers. For the Winter Olympics a couple of years ago, I was writing all sorts of shit for ski jumping and stuff like that. And they asked they wanted a tagline. Let It Slide was mine. So don't let anyone forget that. Write that down. What are we talking about?
Doing an ad read.
Oh, I just did it, yeah. No,
okay.
I was going to ask you about your ice hockey.
Nice.
You did all right, didn't you? Opening day? I saw you were touting early.
Yeah, I had a good opening day. Honestly, first couple of days has been good. I love hockey. My dad's a huge hockey guy, and honestly, I just talked to him, and I watch hockey. Honestly, we have a couple TVs in the home. Obviously, the postseason's been on, but if it's not football, it's hockey on, and my dad's a huge Devil fan, so I usually get my nuggets or insight from him. He's watched hockey for 30, 40 years, so yeah, that's how I've been doing. But I love hockey. It's a grind, just like baseball. I mean, 82 games a season. We're 165, so it's a grind.
So Mr. Rockford is the hockey guy. We'll get him on the podcast, mate.
Yeah.
Before we go to Thursday's games, there was a game in a couple of hours. Toronto at Seattle, game 3. Shane Bieber v. George Kirby. Do you want a little live play on that game before we get into Thursdays, Dylan? What do you fancy?
Yeah, for the game right now, I took Seattle, minus 132 at home. Just not a believer in Shane Bieber, if I'm being honest. George Kirby's been lights out. I also like the first 5 team total over 1.5. It's a little chalky at minus 140, but I do believe in this offense. We've seen, just look at last game. They routed up for 10 runs, had 3 in game 1 as well. So offense has really turned it around despite playing that 15 inning game over the weekend. So yeah, I'm high on this offense. I think it's really turned it around. So yeah, I like first 5 over team total for the Mariners, and I like them on the money line. I think they go up 3-0.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a nice price. It was minus 130, and that's a really fair price, I think. And Bieber didn't last long at the Yankees. only managed 8 outs. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings since September the 26th, which is going to be a problem. So a very, very short leash there. And yeah, Kirby should be fine. So yeah, I did fancy Seattle. I was surprised they were a price round about -130. So yeah, I would agree with you. We'll get stuck into tomorrow's games after I'll let you know about mybookie.ag. Your place to bet on football and everything else. The prop builder second to none. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig is available in over 35 states. Download the Novig app, get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our code SGPN. Get in on the action with a Novig promo code SGPN. Thursday starts 6:08 Eastern. The Brewers at the Dodgers. Now, the Brewers, TBD all day. There's been kind of 3 candidates all day. I think it's going to be Tobias Myers who's going to open very shortly. The options, Quinn Priester, Quintana, and maybe even Nick Mears, who's the bullpen workhorse there for the Brewers. But I do think Myers will start the game, but it's going to be very much mix and match for the Brewers. Tyler Glasnow is confirmed for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are -195. Brewers +160 with the total at 7.5. We mentioned the Dodgers have gone old school. Snell 8 innings, Yamamoto complete game. Teams leading 2-0. I mean, it's been widely publicised. We mentioned the odds that the Dodgers and the Mariners are both incredibly short. Teams leading 2-0 have won 78 of 93 series in this new format, 84% of the time. Teams that have won both road games are 24 and 27, so that's 89%. The Dodgers, 8 playoff games for the Dodgers, 7 of them have had starts. The starters have gone 6 or more, which is incredible, really. When the current trend, the modern trend, is not that. It's to get under on the outs. Adam and Scott talked about it. We handicapped Jack Flaherty and people like that. Shane Bieber tonight would be another candidate. The Dodgers are flying in the face of all of that, really. The Brewers aren't helping themselves, particularly. They've had 2 extra base hits in 2 games. Christian Yelich got on my radar, is having a bit of a stinky record. 15 playoff games since 2020. 0 RBIs for Christian Yelich in that spell. Quite impressive. Tyler Glasnow pitched on October the 9th against the Phillies. 6 scoreless with 8 strikeouts. He had 11 home starts. He was very, very good. I was immediately drawn to the outs prop just because it's been such a high-profile thing with the Dodgers. Now, the line is 16.5, so you need 5 2/3 for a winner. But having seen that, a play at a much bigger price is Glasnow to record the win at +145. You're almost parlaying the fact, if you think the Dodgers are going to win, if you were looking at the outs for Glasnow, then you can kind of package them together. And Glasnow to record the win at +145. You need 15 outs just for that one. And then Dodgers to be on top, which I think is what's going to happen. So that would be my pick in this one. It's a great price. You're talking about getting the team at -195 on side at a working man's price, +145. So I'll take Glasnow to record the win. In terms of a player prop, D-Rock, I couldn't get away from those Yelich numbers. So I want a little fade of Christian Yelich. And it's going to be a total base matchup. And the match I'm taking on, I don't know if you can, I saw this on Bet365, I don't know. Can you find total base matchups on a lot of your books, D-Rock?
Not the ones that I use, but it's interesting. I know they do that in golf.
So we're talking Yelich versus Betts here, total bases. And I've got Betts at +105. Yelich, just mentioned poor playoff numbers, but also 1 for 14 off Tyler Glasnow. So he doesn't see Glasnow particularly well. So Mookie Betts at +105 to outbase, if that's a word. Christian Yelich would be a player prop for this one. D-Rock, what have you got?
Yeah, Brewers, they've lost 9 their last 9 road postseason games heading into game 3 here in LA. So I think it might be over for them, Mal. I know it's a big number to lay with the Dodgers, but they're a wagon right now. And to be honest, Brewers bats they've just gone quiet. The last 4 games, the Brewers have scored a total of 5 runs. Even in their win versus Chicago in game 5, they only scored 3 runs. So back-to-back games against this Dodger team. I actually made the Dodgers over a $2 favorite, and I can't believe we're getting plus money here on the run line. And that's where I'm going. -1.5 at +115. I see +120, so shop around. I just don't see how the Brewers will be able to get to Glass now. He hasn't given up a single run this postseason, only 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, and I know it's TBD. I think it might be Quintana, in my personal opinion, but I agree. I think they're going to piggyback off someone. I don't think they're going to go long. He really wasn't that good versus the Cubs, only went 3 innings. Dodgers are hitting really good at home, 289 this postseason. So I like the Dodgers. I think they win big here. I'll take them on the run line. As for a player prop, I was looking at our guy, Kike Hernandez, over 1.5 HRR at +130. I mean, all this guy does is get on base. He had 4 last game, 2 in game 1 versus this Brewer team. He's gone over this in every playoff game except 1. He just gets on base. He finds hits. He scores runs. This guy is just a machine in the playoffs. So over 1.5 HRR for a guy that's gone over this in every game but 1 in the postseason. I just think this is a good look for Kike Hernandez.
Kike Hernandez, I'll watch the highlights in the morning. I'll get my cup of coffee in bed and I might watch the extend. It might be the 5 or 6 minute highlights, might be a bit longer. But this Dodgers game, he's never off the screen. Kike Hernandez, if I watch 12 minutes of the 3-hour game, like 8 minutes is watching Kike Hernandez do stuff. You just can't keep him out the game. It's absolutely insane. So you do well to go to him. Joe Dollar's gone draw no bet, saying extra innings is definitely in place. Scott nearly called it extra inning games. I think I mushed him in our Slack chat, actually, one night last week. So I kept my head down a little bit after that. One of the Tigers games, I think it was. So Joe's going for extra innings. We turn our attention to the game 4 between the Blue Jays and Mariners. I'll tell you that Rhythm is crushing it in college football, and NFL. The picks and the props, the leaderboards up there. You can win $1,000. The promo code is SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use the promo code SGPN25. And Underdog, a great place to play fantasy pick'em. Win up to 500 times your entry. The offer there, play $5, get 100 in bonus funds using the sign-up code MLB SGPN. 8:33 tomorrow, the Toronto Blue Jays at the Seattle Mariners. This will be game 4. Seattle lead 2-0. Obviously, this might be things that happen this evening that will affect it, but we can still sort of handicap this. And I didn't mind handicapping this almost as if you would do a regular season game because there was enough in there for you to make a few picks. The Blue Jays are throwing Max Scherzer. The Mariners will throw Luis Castillo. D-Rock, did you get as far as knocking up some Rockford lines for this one? Little prediction?
Yeah, I did. So my numbers for Luis Castillo and Max Scherzer, I made the Mariners a -130 favorite. -1.5 is at +160. Same thing for the Blue Jays. +130, +1.5 is at -160. Total, I made though 7.8.
Okay.
I think Luis Castillo, he's been good this postseason, and this is going to be Max Scherzer's first start since September 24th. A little over 2 weeks now, and to be honest, he really didn't end the season all that well, especially in September. Over a 10 ERA. Now going up against a Mariner team who seems like they found their rhythm a little bit offensively. So I just don't like this spot for him. And to be honest, I don't know what's happened. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know what's going on with Toronto in that offense. Maybe the break hurt their momentum the first 2 games. They just haven't been it, and I just don't see them, turning it around against Luis Castillo. So maybe the Mariners have, maybe they've completely wrote the ship, and they're a different team against it than they were against this Tiger. 13 total runs for this Mariner team in 2 games. I know I said it for the game today, but maybe even look towards the first 5 team total over for the Mariners. If it's around 1.5, I like that bet as well. But unfortunately, we might get the Brooms. I think Seattle sweeps them.
I mean, you've handicapped it exactly the same as myself. Joe's mentioned a play or two in the comments. I think a lot of people are going to go on this the same way, which doesn't mean it's going to happen. This is counterintuitive. I talked about that game 1 in this series where I did expect the Blue Jays to get on top early and they just couldn't. So it could go the other way. But September the 24th, that's 3 weeks tomorrow, Dylan. You said 2. Like, it's gone away that long. That's a long time for this.
I'm bad in math.
Yeah, you are bad at math. Yeah, I remember that. More school subjects, Dylan, we've discovered over the last few years, actually. It was consistently below average all year. He had a 5.91 road ERA. He will be on an incredibly short leash, which leads us to the pick that I pulled out, that Joe's pulled out, which is under 14.5 outs for Scherzer. Holy shit. That's like finding money in the street. So we'll take that. It remains to be seen also what arms the Blue Jays will have available. And the same goes for the Mariners, obviously, after this evening's game.
Is that a real prop?
It can't be. I haven't seen any lines. I don't know where Joe's got that from. Because the I would have it
I'd have it at 11.5.
Sorry?
I'd have it at 11.5.
I was going to say, I might even have gone like 9.5 or something, like not very long. So, Joe might be pulling our leg there because that would be life-changing, Joe.
You got to hammer the under. If it's at 14.5, I don't think the books are that stupid. Not saying Joe's stupid, but I'm just saying 14.5 is a massive number for possibly an elimination game. I tried to get a player prop, but I couldn't find props because there's no lines.
Yeah. Castillo got 4 outs out of the pen against the Tigers on October the 10th. Started against the Tigers on October the 5th. 4 2/3 scoreless. Had a very good season. I mean, he's steady Eddie, like 32 starts, 3.54 ERA. You can bring that down to a 2.60 ERA at home. Now, the only sort of little crack here was that Castillo saw the Blue Jays 3 times in the regular season. Only managed 10 innings in total. He gave up 17 hits and 4 walks. So the Blue Jays bats did get to him. So overall, Seattle worthy favourites if that price comes out round about -130. Joe did make that lineup. You should be a bookie, Joe. Do you want to be my bookie? You give me that
the
price.
lineup. Hey, I'll take the 4 if you're giving me a 4.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take it.
Yeah, there's $500 in the post, Joe, from me and Dylan here. So if the price is somewhere near -130, Seattle, I think you're right, have to be a good price.
Yeah.
Under on the outs on both pitchers, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I do think the Blue Jays do seem to have Castillo's number, and again, Seattle will have arms available. And both team totals over as well. I think we can see runs. I'm happy to fade both pitchers in this spot. So there was a load of bets I liked. In terms of players, the obvious one is Julio Rodriguez, who was 2 for 5 off Scherzer with a home run. But a couple of unsung. Polanco has been quite high profile actually in the playoffs. He's had a very good postseason. He is 2 for 8 off Scherzer, including a home run. But right down the bottom is JP Crawford.
Oh, so good.
Isn't he? And you never hear his name. He just gets on with it.
He hides at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, he's just a absolute glue guy, like invaluable. 3 for 7 with a walk off Max Scherzer. So over half a hit for JP Crawford, I think might be an option tomorrow. We'll see what goes on there. And I think, D-Rock, that's about as much as we can manage on this. Good effort.
Yeah, I think JP Crawford, I took him for a single last week against the Tigers in that 15-inning game. He finally got there in the 14th inning. He finally got there, but he's been great. And honestly, it's unfortunate because I do think Aaron Judge is going to win the MVP, but I think it should be voted after the season. Like what Kyle Raleigh's doing for this team is more than what Aaron Judge is doing for the Yankees or what he did for the Yankees. And he's lighting it up. I think he's hitting over 400 this postseason. If they make the World Series, I think me and you are the only ones on the network that took the Mariners to go to the World Series and win it. So
you're right. Like the word value in there, as in the MVP, it means different things to different people. And you're right that the value of Cal Raleigh is different. We've been talking about, I don't drag it back to football, especially with Jews in the chat here. Newcastle were forced into selling their best player in the off-season this year to Liverpool, and it caused great gnashing of teeth and wailing amongst the people of Newcastle. But his value to us is proven to be a lot more than his value to Liverpool, where he went. So you've got the cash value, which was $130 million, pounds, fucking dollars. Listen to me. You people have poisoned me. We sold him for £130 million. But to us, he was worth that. And to Liverpool, he hasn't been. So it is a relative thing. And that is the key word. The V in MVP is absolutely relevant. That's the most I've ever had to say about an award thing on baseball, because I normally just shut down when you start talking about it.
Jorge Polanco as well. He's been really good for Seattle. Julio Rodriguez has kind of been okay, but Cal Raleigh's plus 750 to win ALCS MVP, I think it's worth a sprinkle. And Aaron Judge is 4-1 right now to win MVP. I think that's ridiculous, honestly.
Little pizza bet. I mentioned last week, Dylan, that we talked about the little simulation game that I play, the little baseball sim that I play. I mention it sometimes. I was playing today, and the year's 2029, Dylan, and they've just lowered the bump in the off-season to increase offense. So there's something. There's a window into the future.
Nice.
I don't know. I have no idea. I just got the commissioner, the MLB commissioner, messaged me. I'm still managing the Nationals. Messaged me to say that they've lowered the bump from 2029 onwards. So there you go.
Next thing you know, they're going to tell you, hey, we're doing robots for umpires.
We haven't had that yet. Funny business. So there you go. Right. Thanks, mate. That was fun. Short and sweet. We did our best. Baseball's on too late for me, so I will have to catch up over my coffee in the morning. Keep an eye on the schedule, which I think is now going to be Friday, myself and you, Dylan.
Yes.
Something like that anyway. Yeah, we'll sort it out. Keep an eye on the schedule for the shows upcoming. It's very movable in the playoffs, as we say. Thanks to the lads who joined us in the chat. We appreciate it. Good luck with your bets.